Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell and today I have a really exciting video. I have seen these smash or pass type of videos for a while here on BookTube and I was like, okay, but let's make this fantasy romance edition. So I have actually gone through all of the books I have either read or DNF'd and these are fantasy romance books that are really popular on TikTok especially, but on BookTube, TikTok, like all over. They're just really popular fantasy romance books. And I have them all in this just like cup right here. I figured, you know what? I'm gonna pull two each round and there's gonna be two books and I'm gonna pick which one I'm gonna smash and which one I'm gonna pass on and kind of give you my explanation there. So I just thought that would be kind of fun. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd love to have you do so. All of my social media is linked down below in the description. And also please don't forget to comment down below and let me know what your answers would be for these. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've done anything fantasy romance related. Usually I do quite a bit of fantasy romance content, but I've been in a slump for the last like month and a half. So I've kind of gotten back in the mood a bit with Crescent City 3, so that's pretty fun, but I just thought this would be a good time. I'm a little bit nervous based on some of the ones I have in here. It's gonna be easy, right? If all the books like I love, I pick one I love and one I hate, right? But we'll see what happens. I could end up with a lot of really hard choices. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick right here. Okay, here's the first book right here. Court of Blood and Bindings by Lizette Marshall. Okay, that's book number 1. I think I gave that book 4 stars. Okay. Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Wisecup. Okay, so this one is actually pretty easy for me. Okay, so A Court of Blood and Bindings, I gave it 4 stars. This book was a very predictable fantasy romance. It basically went with what we're seeing right now. A lot of fantasy romance books doing in terms of their plot, their reveals, their way of portraying the hero, all of that. I felt like it was just so formulaic and I'm getting so tired of that formula. Like, I'm kind of done with it. Between Wrath and Mercy is quite different. It's not something I've seen before in fantasy romance, in which our heroine is actually a mother and her daughter is supposedly to be the chosen one, or like basically someone who has a lot of power that a lot of people are after. And it is a second chance romance as well between her and her teenage sweetheart, basically. And I really, really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It ended on a cliffhanger and I need to pick up book 2. Like, I need to get my hands on it as soon as possible. And I've got so many other books that I need to read too. But yeah, I need to read that book. I need to. So I think it's a pretty obvious choice for me. Court of Blood and Bindings was a good book, but it wasn't great enough for me to continue on in the series because of the formulaic nature. I think I'm gonna pass on A Court of Blood and Bindings. And I'm going to be smashing between Wrath and Mercy. Okay, so pick number 2. I feel like that went easy on me. That was pretty good. We'll see what happens with the next ones. Okay, so pick number 1, A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halle. Never know, is it Karina Halle? Halle? And Zodiac Academy by Carolyn Peckin and Susan Valente. So, Zodiac Academy, if you guys know, I've read the first 5 books in that series and I read them all within like a 1-month period. I kind of binge read them and then I did not really continue on in the series. I'm planning on it, I just haven't. The ending of book 5 was so freaking heartbreaking and there's still at least I think 1 more book to come out. I think there's 8 or 9 books that it's going to be. I don't know, a lot of books. a lot of books in the series, but I do need to continue on before I forget like everything that happened. I really loved Zodiac Academy, though I've been feeling a little bit like frustrated by it. A Ship of Bones and Teeth. I have a lot of friends that really love this book, but I unfortunately have had really zero luck with Karina Halley. I've DNF'd every book of hers that I've picked up, including A Ship of Bones and Teeth. This is supposed to be like a gothic pirate Little Mermaid fantasy romance like retelling, but it's supposed to be like a darker, more gothic version of the Little Mermaid. I just didn't get it. I didn't get the vibes. I didn't get the vibes that I was expecting. I didn't feel like it was atmospheric enough. And I feel like whenever I pick up her books, I'm expecting something kind of gothic, because she kind of goes with the gothic, like her synopses generally sound like they're going to be like dark and gothic and this and that. And her covers too. And then I pick them up and like the vibes just aren't fully there for me. And I think it's just her writing style. I just don't vibe with her writing style. So definitely I'm going to be passing on A Ship of Bones and Teeth and smashing Zodiac Academy. So I do need to continue on, and I will say like I'm not in love with where things are going in that series. So I guess we'll have to see too, like what I do. Pick number 3. Oh, and if you guys didn't already know, I don't know if I gave a synopsis for Zodiac Academy. It's a fantasy romance series, but there's like multiple couples and multiple like relationships and things going on. It's about these 2 twins. And they basically find out they're the long lost heirs to be queens in the Fae realm. And they get sent to Zodiac Academy, but they've lived their whole lives like in our world basically. As humans, and they get to this school and end up being bullied by the interim heirs. And it's like bully romance, lots of different dramas and relationships and things going on. So very fast paced and addictive, I would say. Okay, so let's see. Pick number 3. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. And try to mix these up a bit. And To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. Okay, this is really hard. I've actually given both of these books 5 stars. And it's also hard because To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, like I've read 2 books in that series, and Fourth Wing I have not read the second book in that series. So like I feel like I'm more connected to the characters from the To Bleed a Crystal Bloom world. So I feel like that's almost like not fair. But Fourth Wing, it's definitely more like, I felt like super fast paced. To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, the writing style is much more flowery and beautiful. They're just so different. They're so different. Fourth Wing feels a little bit more YA or new adult, and To Bleed a Crystal Bloom I feel like feels pretty adult. Even though we do have a very naive heroine, it still feels very adult. And not because there's any like smut or anything like that. And there's like a teeny little bit, but it's mostly not. So this is hard. This is hard because the thing is, the sequel to Bleed a Crystal Bloom, which was To Snap a Silver Stem, that was in my like top, I think it was in my top 3 favorite books of the year. It was in the top there. You can check out my top books of the year video there, but it was high up there. But that's the sequel, and this is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, not the sequel. Oof. Okay. I'm gonna go with To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. But I did really like Fourth Wing, but I did not think Fourth Wing was as groundbreaking and like phenomenal as people said it was. It was a 5-star read, but it wasn't like, this is going to be like your life-changing situation. Do you know what I'm saying? To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, I feel like has so much potential and has, I'm really connected to the main characters and I just need to know what happens next. And it's just a little bit more connection. I think even after I read book 1, like I'm not even talking about book 2. I'm trying not to talk about book 2, but I feel like even after book 1, I felt more connected to the characters from To Flee to Crystal Bloom than I did to Fourth Wing. Though they're both 5-star reads and both wonderful books that I highly recommend. Okay, that was hard. That was hard. Coffee break. Okay, pick number 4. I think I have 7 picks in here. So like 14 books. I didn't like put every like fantasy romance book I've ever read in here. I figured 14 books is already a lot to talk about, you know. Okay, but so pick number 4. A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Okay. Blood Mercy by Vila Roth. Okay, this is hard for different reasons. Okay, so A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I gave that 3 stars. I believe I gave that 3 stars. Maybe 4, but I think it was more. If I gave it a 4, it was like a 3.5. Blood Mercy by Vila Roth. I DNF'd, but I'm planning on trying to pick it back up with the audiobook to try to get into the writing style. Because I usually like writing styles like that, but for some reason it was not working for me, and I'm wondering if the audiobook will help me get into it. So I am willing to pick up Blood Mercy again. Blood Mercy. There's no way in hell that I'm ever picking up a Jennifer L. Armentrout book again. It's just not gonna happen. This is hard. So on one hand, I've got Vila Roth that I'm willing to pick up again, and then JLA that I'm just not willing to pick up again. But I did DNF Blood Mercy, and I did not DNF A Shadow in the Ember. But I think, like in my gut, I know this sounds crazy, but in my gut, I feel that I am passing on A Shadow in the Ember, and I'm somehow smashing Blood Mercy. A book that I have not even been able to finish. Explain that to me. Can you explain my feelings to me? Because I can't. If I'm willing to pick Blood Mercy again, that tells me something. You know what I'm saying? I just am so sick of JLA. I don't understand how she's still writing, considering like her books, they are just so convoluted and info dumping, and I don't know, just like a waste of reading space. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's harsh. I'm not usually harsh. I'm sorry. I just can't freaking stand her anymore. Like, I tried to do, like, I liked book 1 and 2 in that first series, From Blood and Ash. Even though I had writing style issues, I was like, oh, this'll calm down. No, it got worse. And then it got so convoluted. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm passing on JLA. I am smashing Blood Mercy. I think I'm going to try that book again in audiobook form. Or I might just try to read it with my eyes again. I really want to. Everyone talks about how amazing it is, but I read it with some other friends, and I think it was Daphne and Kristen, and we all DNF'd it, so. I don't know. I'm going to try again, though. I'm going to try again. Okay, pick number 5. Gild by Raven Kennedy. Okay. Mixed feelings. Love the series. Don't love the first book, which is Gild. And then A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. Okay, so Gild. So Gild is a King Midas retelling. It's like a not dark, but like it's definitely like a little bit problematic of a fantasy romance, especially when it starts out. But you see where things go, and there's a lot of character development in there, a found family, just a lot of really amazing elements that I love. I have soft DNF'd book 5, but I adored book 2, 3, and 4. I gave Gild 3 stars. Didn't love it, but I did read it fairly fast and then was looking forward to continuing on in the series. So I had hopes for the rest of the series. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I tried to read this book. I think I got about 100 pages in and then I DNF'd it. I really didn't like it. It's an urban fantasy. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling, but it's urban. And I'm just not a fan of Scarlett St. Clair's writing style. And so I'm going to go ahead and pass on A Touch of Darkness. I thought it was actually just very poorly written, and I'm going to smash Gild because it was better written than A Touch of Darkness. Even if I wasn't obsessed yet, it was still better written than A Touch of Darkness, which that book needed some help, that's for sure. Maybe an editor or two. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and smash Gild on that one. Okay, so I've got, that was 5. I've got, make sure I'm not looking at, okay, guys, I only have 3 in here. I don't know what happened. What happened? Okay, I only have 3 in here, so I think I'm gonna pass on 2 of these and have to smash 1. Because I only have 3 in this cup. I don't know what happened. I can't count, apparently. Okay, so I've got 3 here. Ooh, 3. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna have to smash 1. I can only pick 1 to smash, okay? So I've got The Never King by Nikki St. Crow, which is a Peter Pan Why Choose retelling. And then I've got Bow Before the Elf Queen by J.M. Curl. It's a fantasy romance about elves. I don't think it's a retelling of anything. And then I've got A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee, which is a very formulaic fantasy romance series. It's quite short, very, very spicy. Okay, so The Never King. I am 100% passing on The Never King. That book was awful, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. It made no sense, and I was not a fan of some of the like spice elements in there. Just like a personal choice thing, just not my thing. And so definitely passing on that one. I won't be continuing on in that series. So yeah, passing on The Never King by Nikki St. Crow. And the other 2 books, I think I actually gave them both 4 stars. I gave A Bow Before the Elf Queen 4 stars. I gave A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows 4 stars. I did try to read the second book in both of those series and DNF'd both of them. But the difference is, when I DNF'd the sequel to A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, I like hard DNF'd it because that series, I had somehow already forgotten what happened. And it wasn't a complicated storyline. It was like so straightforward. So yeah, I think it's just because it was in one ear, out the other. It's mostly just smut. Bow Before the Elf Queen, I only soft DNF'd it because I don't like the audiobook and I want to read it physically, and I wasn't able to read it physically at the time. So I really do want to continue on with Bow Before the Elf Queen's series, but I actually have to reread Bow Before the Elf Queen. So I'm smashing Bow Before the Elf Queen, and I'm passing on A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows and The Never King. Okay guys, I hope that you liked that. I hope you had fun with that. Let me know if you like that kind of concept of doing like a smash or pass kind of thing. It was a lot of fun for me, just thinking about some of these books and also reminding myself some of the series that I really need to continue on with. Especially, there was a few on here that I'm like, why haven't I read that sequel yet? So I need to get to those. But yeah, go ahead and click the like button and comment down below. Let me know what your answers would have been for some of these questions. And subscribe if you haven't already. All of my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Instagram, my Goodreads, my Patreon. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
What's wrong and why you never said you felt that way? And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.